What's the variable that correlates most highly with human well being? Can you guess? It's not money, faith, or even marriage. It's community. Success in real estate follows the same laws. Listen on to learn how you can leverage community for greater well being and success. Thanks for joining me today. And do I just have a great lineup of stuff to share with you today? This week was the launch of our Equity Builders Club community in Montreal, Canada, with my friend Axel. And we did that with an awesome launch evening in the Old Port in our archaeological museum in Montreal. It was a really super event with a, prequel VIP dinner and then an evening of content and networking with investors and people who want to get into real estate investing in Montreal. And it was just such a great evening that I want to share some of the key takeaways, from the evening, and also share with you a special guest who's going to come on a bit later in the show to share some of his perspectives on community. And, Axel and I have been investing for a while. I've been in the business for 20 years. He's been in it for, 5, 6 years. And, as both of us have progressed, one of the things that we've begun to realize is that just simply, I call them the 3 Ds, more doors, more dollars. That's not where the satisfaction and the fulfillment lies. That really comes from being surrounded by other people. And that's kind of where I want to go today, just in telling you a little bit about the evening and telling you some of those things that are so important as far as why being part of a community is really something incredible, not just for your real estate success, but also for how you feel inside as a human being going about your everyday life. And so I want to just backtrack a little way to, almost 2 years ago now. I had a guest on the podcast called Sonia Lubomirsky, who's actually a happiness researcher. You can go look her up. I think she's at Harvard and doing a lot of research on human happiness. And so one of the things that she found in her research is that the variable that is the most correlated, that has the highest effect on our happiness score, it's not money, it's not your weight on the scale. It's not even things like faith and marriage. It's community and the human relations, that web of ties that you're included in. And, that's just so important in terms of how we as humans create meaning and how we just have that good feeling about what it is that we're doing. And so, as you think about growing your real estate business, that is the financial aspect, the place where you receive those kind of financial rewards, but that ultimately some of the meaning that's associated with that, you don't get that just sitting in your room, with your computer open looking at your bank balance. You really get that from the other people around you who are perhaps on that same path as you might be. And so in terms of what the purpose is of joining a community, like the one that we're busy building with Axel through the Equity Builders Club, is really to create that community space where we can come together, share our successes, acknowledge some of the things that the other people have done, perhaps also share the times when things are difficult. And that's really, a part about creating success in a business sphere, but it's also about just upping that human well-being. And, if you think about some of what happened during COVID, I mean, what was so difficult about it for a lot of us was that we just found ourselves cut off from everybody and, sitting in our rooms and yeah, you spent a lot of time with your family, but ultimately not being part of that wider community really has a lot of negative effects as far as, human mental health goes. And, I could just go on and on about this. I'm going to just say one last thing, which is that, in the modern world where a lot of these community structures have slowly been eroded, and I could do a whole episode on this. I won't, I promise. But, in modern life where basically the power of, the churches that we used to be a part of, maybe labor unions, neighborhoods, all of those different things that we used to get our social significance from have been eroded. And what I would invite you to think about, as a real estate investor, is that there is that real estate community out there that can become a place where you meet other people that makes whatever it is that you're doing into something meaningful. And if you're looking, I would encourage you to insert yourself in some of those communities. And maybe it's not real estate. For me, part of it, I got a lot of that from the martial arts gyms that I used to train in. And that was a really awesome community at a certain point. And, as you think about how you can insert yourself into some of those social ties, if you're into real estate investing, you want to get into real estate investing, be aware that those communities exist. And it's just a question of finding one and plugging yourself in. So that's the first kind of axis is really community is great as far as well-being. The next thing is reputation. And, when you are interacting within this web of social ties and you're looking at doing business with people, having references, looking for new people to work with, one of the hidden gems of community is that group mind contains the reputations of a lot of the people who function in there. And if you're wondering how to kind of vet people and, understanding how an actor works, who are the good actors, who are the bad actors, if you insert yourself into a community within which people have been for some years, and that community is kind of like in a group mind kind of way tracking the behavior of certain people, it's going to be so much easier for you to really get a sense for who it is that you're dealing with before you get into business with them, before you use them as a contractor, just because everybody in that community will have had previous dealings with those people. And by just being part of that and exchanging information with the other people, you're really going to gain so much knowledge as far as the other actors. And, I used to make this joke when we were, back with my buddies in jiu-jitsu, is that like the gym or like the community, it's kind of like a body. And if you have a foreign object or something that doesn't fit into that body because it doesn't share its values, that object will end up being rejected from the community basically. And the same goes for really any tight knit group, which is that if you have, let's say you have a community that's dedicated to, helping other people, serving others, which is what we hope for our community to turn into. And you have people who come in there who are, scammers or takers or people who don't act in ethical ways or who are just in it for themselves, the body will end up rejecting them over time. And so, in evaluating the type of community that you want to be a part of, make sure that it reflects your values. And then you're going to be able to use it as a kind of a litmus test for the reputation of the other actors that you come across in there. And so we don't talk about that very often, but that community is just so useful in terms of triangulating reputation. And the last one, and I really like this. I think this is also something that we don't talk about enough, like for celebrating the wins. When you have a birthday party and you want to celebrate however many years you've been on the planet, do you buy yourself a cupcake and go into your room and eat that cupcake by yourself looking at the wall? No, you invite your friends, your family, and you try to create this event that is basically like the celebration of you, or like at least that's what I try to do every time it's my birthday. But so, it shouldn't be any different in a sphere in which you're trying to evolve. And again, with my gym analogies, but like us in, martial arts, when either you win a competition or you get your next belt, that's like something that happens in public. There's a ceremony, you walk up there, the sensei ties a new colored belt around you. All your friends that you trained so hard with are there to witness and to celebrate and to recognize that achievement. And, that's the other thing that's so great about a community that you can be a part of, is that exists there if it's well done, to be a sphere, a forum in which you can share some of those accomplishments, in which we can acknowledge together the success and really be there to enjoy that moment. Because, like, let's be honest, doing deals in real estate, or getting to the point of financial independence or whatever else it is, that if it's not something that's shared with other people and celebrated, it kind of is like that birthday that you had by yourself in your room that just really wasn't all that much fun. So, as we move forward with my friend Axel and I in creating this Equity Builders Club community in Montreal, if you live in Montreal, we're now kicking off. We kicked off our monthly events for the first time this month, and they're now going to be a monthly thing going forward. So if you're in Montreal or the surrounding area, please do come in, check out one of our events. You can go on the website, equitybuildersclub.com. And you will be able to find there when our next monthly events are. And even if you're, living far away, consider this as a standing, invitation. Come up to Montreal. You're going to see some of the stuff go by on social media, and like, do come and join our next event. Come and see what the community is like and be a part of that. Just be a part of, a group of people that's interested in celebrating together, in creating that meaningful connection around this thing that we do called real estate. And now, without further ado, the other thing I want to share with you in this episode is my friend Dustin Heiner, who is also the creator of the Master Passive Income Network that this podcast is a part of, was kind enough to record a little bit of content for us that we aired at the Equity Builders launch, which are his thoughts on community. And so, in the next part of the episode, you're going to hear from Dustin. This is a longer version of the short speech that he gave at the launch evening, but I encourage you to listen to it because he has some gems as far as his own thoughts go and what he's done with creating the community around the REIP conference and his coaching and his podcast. And so hear it from Dustin. He's got all kinds of stuff to say about building and leveraging, inserting yourself into a community in a way that's just going to make your whole real estate life that much better.
Hey, everybody up there in Montreal, Canada. Super excited to be here with you. And I love that I get to actually share some information and some knowledge that I've learned along the way as I've been investing in real estate. Now, Terry and Axel are friends of mine. They came to the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. Terry, she is actually a part of the network that I have of just helping lots and lots of people to invest in real estate. Now, we were chatting about everything she's doing and you guys are doing up there investing in Canada. And I am actually really excited to also have my audience from Master Passive Income learn about how to invest in Canada because, and here's the big thing, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, people might be investing from that are not anywhere in our country. They might be coming in and taking some properties. Now, that's not something that we should be concerned about because I'll get into it just a second. Just like people from Canada love to invest in America because we have cash flow, we have everything you guys have, but it's just a different market, which is really, really great news because you don't have all your eggs in one basket. Now, when I first got started, and this is a big reason why Terry and XL wanted me to come on and share with you, when I first got started in 2006, this was before in America we had a crash of 2008 where the economy was just horrible, real estate was crashing, everything was really, really bad. Now, I was investing in passive income, cash flow from all my properties, basically buying rental properties that made me money every single month in passive income. That's not necessarily the route that I want to go. I want to tell you about my limited mindset in thinking that there's only just a little bit out there that I needed to fight for it. See, now I played a lot of sports growing up. I've been very competitive, and it's always when you're competing, there's a winner and there is a loser. Now, I personally took that into my real estate investing in my businesses. It's a bad mentality, and I was thinking that there was only so much to go around, and I needed to fight for every little bit. In fact, I was telling people that I was an investor. They would ask me where I was investing, like what city I was investing in, what types of properties. They were asking me all these questions on what I was doing. I was literally thinking in my mind, if I told them, then oh my goodness, I will be having competition on all the properties and we're going to be outbidding each other. It's going to be horrible. So I wasn't telling anybody for many, many years. And then honestly, I wish this would have happened. This change would have happened a long time ago was if I would have realized instead of having a limited mindset or a scarcity mindset, that means there's so little that we need to fight for every bit of it. Instead, having an abundance mindset, that is where you're thinking there's so much to go around. We can help each other out, just like I have a lot of people that invest from Canada in America and vice versa. We have people that invest in Canada as well as other countries. We have one of our students actually invests in the Dominican Republic. And it's so fun that we can invest all over the entire world and still make cash flow, but at the same time, and this is the reason why you're here with Terry and XL, at the same time, be helping each other, having an abundance mindset. My business grew so much more and faster when I started looking at how I can help other people and how I can connect and work with other people. You're taking a huge step by being here with Terry and XL and everything that they're doing because you're going to be a part of a community. You're going to be a part of a lot of other people who are helping you to figure out how they've done it and then how you can do it and how you guys can work together. So when I had the scarcity mindset, I was just buying property after property as fast as I could, but it was so limited because I did not know everybody. I did not have all the financing in place. I didn't have the property managers or contractors in place. I was literally trying to do this all on my own. As soon as I got working with other people, started connecting, networking, going to meetups, everything that you're doing now, and then getting education, which is the next step, I started growing so much more. My businesses started growing and expounding so much more. So that's the big thing. I'm super excited to have you be a part of Terry and Excel's community here, because in the end, as we all help each other, as we all serve each other, everybody's lives gets better. Because I kid you not, the more people that I serve in my life, right now, I try to serve as many people as possible. Everything from my coaching, my real estate investor coaching down here in America, to my conferences that I put on, where I try to bring people together so that we all have a very fun time, but also be like-minded and help each other in investing. Everybody's lives get better. My life gets better, and everybody else's life gets better. That's why Terry decided to come be a part of the Master Passive Income Network as well. We have a bunch of podcasts where it's just giving out information, because we found the more people that we serve in our lives, the better our lives get and the better everybody else's lives get. Now, that's definitely the first thing, is you being a part of community, being a part of a group of other investors. And with that, it's so much more information, so much more contacts, so much more success. Because if you have a roadblock in your investing, in your journey, more than likely you can meet somebody who's already hurdled that roadblock, or figured out how to get past that. If you could find those right people and then bounce ideas off of them, they're going to help you out. So number one, being a part of a huge community, that is the best way for you to grow and scale your business. And if you're just getting started, my goodness, it's so scary. I get it. We all start with one property. It's scary, or it's nerve-wracking when you're trying to do your first property. If you're all by yourself. Imagine if you had a team of people helping you, or being a part of you, that are rooting you on and cheering you on, exactly what you guys have up there in Canada. I wish I could be up there, but I'm down here in Phoenix, Arizona, much further away. But I love how you guys are connecting and growing together. Now, the next thing that you absolutely need to have is the knowledge. Now, if you don't have any properties, then you're starting from scratch. But if you have 2 or 3 properties, you're going to start growing, and we need to learn how to scale every single step of the way, from starting to getting to your 5th property, getting your 20th property, your 100th property, or even getting into hotels or apartment complexes, storage facilities. Every single step of the journey, there's probably somebody just a little ahead of you, or maybe a lot ahead of you, that you can work with, that you can talk to, that you can communicate with, and learn from their knowledge. Now, I personally have lots of students, hundreds if not thousands of students that now invest in America. Usually we invest in the Midwest, which is lower priced homes, higher priced rents, that we can short-term Airbnb type properties to long-term or even co-living, where they rent out each room. Now, that is something that we've grown and learned how to do, and now start teaching people. If you are sitting and learning about everything about real estate investing from the beginning, you got a long journey. Even if you already have 5 properties, in order to scale that to where you can automate it, to where you can make sure that hey, I have this property, I could short term, okay, that might be great. Or I can long term, or I can do a pad split where I'm renting out each room, or I'm doing midterm where it's 30, 60, or 90 days, longer term. There's so many different ways to actually invest in real estate. It could be a commercial property. It could be a storage facility. You name it. There's probably somebody in your community, number one, but also somebody that's going to help you, that's 1 or 2 or 10 or 100 steps ahead of you. Now, you want to get around the right people. Now, I personally love coaching. In fact, I love investing, but that blesses me to be able to serve people. I'm actually a coach in heart. I just love coaching people. I love seeing them have success, because what helps me helps them, and in the end, we all win. And now, to be completely straightforward and honest with you, you pay for your education and the ability to scale your business in one of 2 different ways. Just one of 2 different ways. You either pay with your time, where you figure out everything on your own, or you pay with your money to get education and knowledge. Those are the only 2 ways. I paid with my time. In 2006, I started investing and buying property after property. It took me about 6 or 7 years before I actually was financially independent, blessed to be able to quit my job when I was 37 years old. Now, what is amazing is, if you, instead of pay with your time, because the time is the one commodity that you will never, ever get back. In fact, that's the one commodity you spend and you can never earn more, make more, or get any more of. So if you're using by spending your time, then it's okay. I did that. I wish I didn't. Now, I wish I went the other way. The other way would be to actually spend your money. So you can either earn with your time, or with your money and get around the right people. So now my students, they come and work with me. I got hundreds, if not thousands of students now, where now instead of 6, 7, 8 years like it took me to become financially independent, I've had students in 3 to 4 years. In fact, one student was 2 years, was financially independent working with me. And this is what I'm saying. You need education. First, you need community, and then you need education. And usually, hopefully, and I know Terry and Excel have the same thing combined, where I have a community and education together, and the mentoring. The mentoring is one other thing, the other third component that you absolutely need. You need the education, the community, and the mentoring, all three together. See, now if you pay with your time, you have 7, 8 years. Let's say it takes, like me, 7 to 8 years to get financial independence. Well, instead, how much better would it be if you spent 2, 3, 4, however many, $5,000, whatever it costs to fast track that, to make it so much faster. So instead of taking 7, maybe 10 years to get financial independence, maybe you got it in 5 years or 4 years or 3 years in financial independence. Let's just say we cut it in half. From 10 years, you go down to 5 years. And in 5 years, you're financially independent. Well, let's say whatever money that you spent to fast track you to where you're now, instead of 10 years to get to financial independent, you're 5 years. That money is so much well spent. That saves you 5 years of your life. That you're now financially independent and now can build more businesses, which is the fourth point that I want to get to. So what I suggest, and I wish I would have done this a lot sooner, I now pay to get in the room. I now pay to get, meaning around the right people, the community. Then I also pay to get education. Even though I have many businesses, I still pay for education because I know now I want to fast track the process. I don't want to learn by the school of hard knocks. I don't want to pay with my time. And the best thing is, just like Terry and Excel and what I do, whatever my students pay me for coaching and mentoring them, giving them the community education, they make hand and fist over like 10 or 100 times more than they would ever pay, and they get their time back. So that is what I want to see from you, is having the community, the education, and the mentoring. And then the next thing is where now you are scaling and you actually can build even more businesses, invest in more properties. Now, financial freedom, that's just the gate to get into the area of this amazing life, and that's the starting point. Now, a lot of people think, and I thought this exact same thing, financial freedom or financial independence, that is the end goal. Like, I need to get that. But I kid you not, as soon as I got there, I thought, well, is this it? No, I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I've done everything that I wanted to do. And I was 37 years old when I became financially independent. Now, in becoming financially independent, I realized every property that I bought was an accomplishment, which was great. These accomplishments were fantastic. And then when I quit my job, another accomplishment. But here's the downside. If there is a downside, the only small downside is I did not feel fulfilled in my life. It was great accomplishing financial freedom. But then after about a year of just watching movies at the movie theater to playing golf or exercising, hanging out with the family and the wife and kids, that was all fantastic. But then I started feeling like I was literally not producing. I was not helping society. I was feeling bad. Even though I was making lots of money, I was feeling like I needed something else. Then fast forward, that brought me into now serving other people. Just like I was saying, the fourth thing that we need to do is now scale, or now use our time to now benefit society, benefit yourself and society at the same time. When you get to that point, then you are getting fulfillment. Then you are getting your life back. And like I said, most people, and I did too, financial freedom, we think that that is the end. That's just the beginning. Imagine now you having 40 plus hours of your life back to you, that you can do whatever you want because you're financially free. You quit your job, and I love the term successfully unemployed. That's one of my favorite because I have found a way to provide for myself and my family without working that dead-end job, that just over broke job. Well, with that, I don't work because it's automatic, because I have a business built that makes me money. I now have 40 plus hours of my life back. Imagine you having 40 plus hours of your life back because of the community, because of the education, because of the mentoring, because you now have fast-tracked it from 10 years and now 5 years, you've got financial independence. Then you have 40 plus hours of your life back. What are you going to do with your life? I suggest continuing to invest. Then start helping in society, start being a good, productive member of society, and start serving more people. But with that 40 plus hours, you now are able to build more businesses that can serve more people. This is the key. Out of everything I want you to remember this. If you serve more people in your life will get so much better, and the people that you're helping, their lives will get so much better. Now, picture it this way. If you are working a job, you're serving one person, your boss. Your boss or the company, the organization, just one thing you are serving. Now, there may be lots of customers, but you only have one person that you're serving, your boss, and that's gets your paycheck. Now, you took that time, instead of working for one person, serving one person, you started serving many people. Let's say you start a small business and you have, let's say, 200, 300 customers. Well, you do not get wealthy working for somebody else. You get wealthy as you're working for yourself, having your own investments, and serving more people. If you have a company that serves 300 people, you have 300 people that you're serving, and you're blessing them with services or whatever it is, products, and then you make money, provide for your family. You make so much more money. Everybody knows if you're working for somebody else, you're limited. You start serving more people, then you have so many more doors open to you, and you make more money. Then if you imagine, how can I even serve even more people? So instead of just starting one business, maybe you start multiple business. I literally have 5 businesses that make me money right now. And I hire amazing people that do all the work for me. Now, I do a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. I definitely do a lot of work. But with that, like my real estate investing, I don't actually do the work in managing the properties. And Terry and Axel will absolutely walk you through how to do all that sort of stuff. But what I do is I hire people and they do the work for me. So you and I, we need to continually work together, come together, connect, network, even finding mentors and working with, like, say, Terry and Axel. And what you need to do is start to realize, how can I serve more people? If you buy one single family home, that's great. You're serving that one family. You're going to make, I'll give you a couple examples. In America, if you buy a single family home, you might be spending 200, maybe 250,000 US dollars. And then you actually put a tenant in there, a long-term tenant. You rent it out per year. It's a monthly lease, but you rent it out for 12 months, a 12-month lease. And then you charge $2,000 a month. Well, that's one family that you're serving. Here's another thing. What if you did short-term where you're renting out by the day, like Airbnb? You make more money because you're serving more people. That one property can get, let's say, one night stays, 30 people in one month instead of one family or one person. That's in one. How about another way? What if you did a pad split, is what it would kind of be called, but basically like co-living, where you actually rented out each individual room in the entire house, and you rented out, let's say you had 5 rooms. You rent it out to an individual person every single month. Then you're serving more people. So what we need to do, and as you're talking with Terry and Excel and communicating and networking with everybody that you're making relationships right now, up there as you're listening to this, what I want you to be thinking from this point forward, how can I serve more people? Now, with this, eventually you're going to get to the place, even if you're starting from scratch, or you might be 10 properties, 100 properties down the road, you're going to be at least one step ahead of somebody else. If you look to the person to your left, look to the person to your right, you can do that right now. It might be a little weird, but start looking to the people around you and start thinking, how can I serve them? Because I'll be completely honest, if you take anything away from this message that I'm trying to give you, is if you look at every single person as, how can I get something out of them? How can they help me get what I want? I kid you not, that's not going to work. It's going to be the worst thing. They're going to see you coming a mile away as somebody that's a taker, and they're not going to want to have anything to do with you. Instead, what I want you to do is have the perspective that I am here to serve other people, and you look at every single person to your left, to your right, front, behind, everybody with you right now. If you start thinking, how can I serve that person? And in that conversation, let's say you meet somebody and say, hi, Bill or Jane, or you talk to that person and say, hey, Jane, tell me about you. Help me know what you're doing. How can I help you? What can I do for you to help you get your goals? When you hear somebody say that to you, you might be thinking, man, this person's really, really nice. I really want to connect and stay connected with this person. Same thing. You need to have that perspective. If you come across as a taker, people are going to see that coming a mile away, and they're going to really, honestly, limit how much they work with you. Here's my suggestion. When you guys start networking today and future, I want you to ask the question, how can I serve you? That's a huge, huge question. Now, you can nuance it or tailor it down. Like you might be having a conversation and this person's looking for their first property, or they might be looking for a property manager, or they might be looking for a way to get funding. You can say, well, how can I help you get funding for that property? They'll be thinking, wow, this Dustin guy, wow, that person's pretty nice. Maybe he can. So if you approach it in the way of serving the other person, then here's the key. It comes back to you. I have found the more people that I serve, and this is the reason why I created my conference, the Real Estate Wealth Brothers Conference, that Terry and Axel, and I think there's a couple other Canadians came down and had a great time with us. The reason why I created that is because I've seen over and over again in my life that my life gets better when I serve other people. So I thought, what better way than create an event where we all come together as a community and we all help each other and we serve more people. So everybody now at my event at the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, they look at me as a big picture saying, how can I serve you as a real estate investor? And I kid you not, just between me and you, I have so many people that want to work with me, that want to help me, that want to send me deals, that want to lend me money, that have great investments that they want me to be a part of, just because I put myself out there as a helpful person. So this is my message to you. If you start giving and you start helping other people, it's going to come back and return to you. Like I was saying, there might be somebody 10 steps ahead of you. You can be working with them. But remember, you have to look back and say, who is behind me? You might be one step along the journey of 1,000 steps. Well, you're one step ahead of somebody who's just starting. Maybe you can help that person that's just starting right now. Let's say you're 10 steps ahead. Well, there's 9 other steps that somebody else might be there that you can help. If you take that approach in all of your entire life of serving other people, then by far you are absolutely going to be so much further ahead than I was ever until I learned this. And then most people, because most people have the mindset of scarcity, meaning there's not enough for everybody, let's fight for it. Instead, I want you to have the mindset of abundance. And then with that, here's a big key. I want you to think, we do not wait to buy real estate. We buy real estate and then wait. Over time, we know our rents go up. We know our values go up. We know our mortgage comes down because we pay into it. There's so many great things. So when we're serving other people and we don't wait to buy real estate, we buy real estate and then wait. And that is how we actually create generational wealth that we will literally give to our kids. Like you see my kids in the background. I will literally give my businesses and my properties to my kids. Because you cannot give your job, it's a job, I love the term job, meaning you're living just over broke. Well, you can't give your job to your kids, but you can give your properties, you can give your knowledge, you can give your network, you can give your business, you can give to other people, especially your kids, in generational wealth. Well, I want to leave this with you, that you are in great hands with Terry and Excel, as well as you have a community of other people around you. If you seek to serve first, you seek to give, you seek to help, trust me, it will come back to you. My life is 100% proven that this is absolutely true. And countless people that I've helped to do the same, their lives have changed as well. And I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me come and share just a little bit. And I hope to see you sometime soon in the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference that we're going to have. It's an annual conference. Just talk to Terry and Excel. Join their membership. Join their coaching. Join with them because they're going to help you to invest. And then come hang out with me at the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. I'll introduce you with so many amazing real estate investors so that you're going to have an amazing time and grow your business tremendously. All right, guys. See you and God bless.